Good morning. It is Monday. We've got some really nice weather yet again to talk about. It has been really nice around the state of California for the most part. Temperatures have been in the 80s, 70s, even some upper 80s. This is some fog that's moved in along the coast. The inversion is back. And so you're going to see more fog, especially further south. The marine layer is a little deeper. Up north, as you can see here, it's below Mount Tamalpais, so the marine layer, I'm just going to estimate it in our area. It looks like it's at about 1,200 feet, 1,000 feet. If you go further south, down towards Southern California, there's a little pressure, so the inversion is a little deeper, so you're seeing it pushing further inland. I checked Santa Barbara this morning. You got fog all the way up into Gibraltar, so pretty high up on the hillside, up over 1,500 feet, easy. Temperatures today are going to warm up nicely. Bernie's going to make 76 degrees. Sacramento's going to make 85 degrees today for a daytime high, which is above the average. So we are above the average today. Tomorrow temperatures drop a few degrees, and then they come back down as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. And then they come back up a little bit as we head later into the week. Pasadena today, 75 degrees. Palos Verdes, 66 along the coast. So yeah, I took some days off. It was awesome. Went down, there's a really nice little south swell running, and so I went down to, I can't tell you where I went, but I got some pictures, so just some of the point waves. We were down around Point Conception, as you probably, I think I mentioned that before, but just beautiful weather, and then, anytime you get this time of year, the coastal sections are typically real windy, and in this particular place, it's kind of like the thing I always talk about with the points. Like Cape Mendocino. When you get inside those points, the swell turns in, the winds go the opposite direction, they start blowing more offshore, and that's what happens with Point Conception this time of year. Santa Cruz does the same thing for the most part as well. So some really awesome waves and just a good crew, real fun. And I'm back, and I'm stoked to be back. I kind of missed doing weather. Like people would ask me like, hey, what's going on? I don't know. Like I literally didn't have cell service. So, which is kind of, the first couple of days, I'm like, God, I wonder what the inversion's doing. It's kind of geeky, but weather's one of those things you kind of have to stay in it to do a good job of doing weather. In other words, you have to be in the flow of it, the day to day. Like today, I just walked back in and I was kind of cold to it a little bit. Like, oh, I got to find out what happened yesterday and the day before, and then I got to look at what's happening now and look at where all over the place, and then look at what's going to happen. As opposed to when you're in it, like tomorrow will be easy because I've already done this. Okay, so yeah, I got other stuff. We'll look at the Eagles today too. Let's take a look at some live cameras. This is, Mount Tamalpais looking towards the south. Now we're going to go over here. There's Sutro Tower, and we're going to jump over there really quickly because we can do that. And we'll see how the fog looks and how the marine layer looks from that angle. And, of course, here's where we were, right? And we're over at Sutro now. And you can see the Golden Gate Park, the panhandle here of the park. And you're coming up around Turk Street. You can see the fog. See, it's pinching down. See, that's kind of sloping down. So the inversion's fairly strong. That's why it's going to be so warm inland. But each day, as we go through the next couple of days, the inversion is going to get deeper. So if we did this same shot tomorrow night, the fog's going to be up around here probably. Tonight, it'll push inland. A lot of folks will have fog around the bay. The inversion looks like this. This is called an acoustic profiler. This is down at Fort Ord. But it shows you time travels on this. This is last, 10 hours ago or so, and then this is the current time. So where the tip of the arrow is current time. And I've always just used simplifying the blue line as the inversion, right? That's where the air, see, the inversion is getting pinched down. The warmer air is pinching it down. This was last night. And then something, we'll see what that something is, triggered the inversion to deepen out. So yeah, it's around 1,200 feet, which is kind of what we thought. Further south, down around Santa Barbara, it's a little deeper than that. But this inversion, next couple of days, is generally going to get up to about here, and that will facilitate the cooling. Profiler, the acoustic profiler at Fort Ord is super useful. I think it's on my links page. I have to update. I know I haven't gotten to my links page in a while, but it's a good one for this time of year. Well, you'll see it a lot from me as we get into late spring, early summer. And so what do you got? Well, there's the high pressure ridge right here, but there's actually a little low pressure down in here. And that's why the inversion, see how like Point Conception right here? See how much deeper, Bill, how do you know it's deeper? Well, how far the fog is going inland. Like Monterey Bay, it's low-lying Salinas Valley, so the fog's filtering in. It doesn't have to get up much over 800 feet. And see how it's functionally dammed along the central coast, or around Northern California central coast. That's the shallow inversion being capped by that average 1,000 foot coastal hills. So as you get further down here, that's up around, and we'll go up to, I think we go up to San Ynez, and you'll see how deep the marine layer is here. It's not a ton deeper, but it's a little deeper. It's all the way down to San Diego, pretty deep. Look at that. It's all the way inland here into San Bernardino area. And so the marine layer is back. It is that time of year. The story this week is this low pressure offshore in Southern California, and then a low pressure that's going to slip down on Wednesday night, Thursday. There's a chance of some showers and thunder showers, especially in Southern California. We'll see that. Northern California, there's a chance for a few sprinkles, but mainly kind of, foothills, truckee area. So what do you see here? Yeah, you just see the satellite loop, and you can kind of see. Can you see the low? Yeah, you can see the low down here, right here. There's that low we're talking about, kind of spinning around, and that's what's released the inversion. We still are under a high pressure, that clockwise flow, and that's the high pressure. So we go to the temperatures for today. Got some more, like SF today, San Francisco is 73 degrees. I like this map. The National Weather Service puts this out because you can just go, oh yeah. And if you get good at it, I mean, the numbers will just, I think I have like some kind of a learning disability. So when I see a lot of numbers, they just become, nah. So I can just look at the colors and go, oh yeah, look, it's red. It's 80s. It's 80s. And you got 89 down towards Daggett, 54 in Santa Barbara, 58. So the coastal section's right much cooler. Los Angeles today, I had it at 70, but they're going 60 or 72. They have it at 69. Okay, 93 out towards thermal. So that's sort of how the temperature footprint for the state looks. Let's look at, we're looking at a model. Let's do that, and we'll get right to it. And then we got all those other things to look at if you want to hang out. Okay, so this is the GFS. This is sea level pressure, precipitation. So this is Tuesday morning. Kind of see, that's that low, just triggering a little bit of shower activity, maybe some drizzle. The low kind of drifts in, and you can kind of see here on, when are we there? We're Wednesday morning, some stuff up around Lake Tahoe. And then here is that sort of northerly flow coming in. It's hard to see, but there's a low kind of up in here that's going to bring cooler air into our area, drop temperature. Well, drop the thickness lines. So you can say that the thickness lines, if you can pay attention to them, are dropping down a little bit. And then there, yeah, so it's sort of nondescript, the whole deal. So the big story, not as warm tomorrow, nice. Wednesday, not much cooler, but cooler clouds, maybe a little drizzle on the close, deeper marine layer. Thursday, same thing, and then we should warm up as we go into, you see the thickness lines coming up as we go into the weekend. But we'll keep an eye on it. Kind of low-graded weather changes this week. Put a loop around us here. This is the upper level, so now we're not at the surface, we're at 500 millibars. This is the lines or ISA bars at that elevation, so you're up 15,000 feet, and you're seeing the flows, you're seeing the vorticity, you're seeing the areas of instability, the reds and the yellows and such. Does that mean it's raining? Not necessarily, but it means there's dynamic activity in the upper atmosphere. If there's moisture available, something will happen. So just look at that. First of all, let's look at the flow. See this? You see that low down Southern California, right? That kicks in. That's on Wednesday night. Maybe a few sprinkles, maybe a thunder shower down there. It looks pretty dry for the most part. I looked at the precipitable moisture. There's not a lot of water available for it. But the instability created by that vorticity could, if there is any moisture, it may trigger something. And then see the low coming in from the north. So we'll do it again. The low down here, see it spinning? That goes south right over by Point Conception. And then up north, look up north, up by Nevada. And see that there it digs back, retrogrades. And then that's the cool air, and that's on Thursday, Friday. And then if we go beyond that, you see the ridge sort of reestablish itself, but a couple of drive-bys. So it doesn't warm up real quickly next week. And kind of next week looks like it could be kind of mild, kind of spring-like, because it's spring. We've just had such a run of weather. So kind of, yeah, and then the ridge pops up here. That's significant. That's on April 26th. So if you got something planned then, it's going to be pretty warm and a little cool down on April 28th. That's, again, a long way out. The big picture just shows pretty nice weather across the country, actually. It's pretty mellow, and you'll see that, too. I'll go through this pretty quick. There's fire concerns here, wind advisories, Dakotas, down south, down towards Nebraska and Kansas, and even in Oklahoma, you got a little bit of wind, but you've got this red flag warning in this area. And then the flood, isn't that interesting? I mean, this flooding is still occurring, right? It's because we talked about this, like this, it's a week and a half later after all that rain in the Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley, the rivers are still flooding because it's just slow buildup of water coming and draining off, which always fascinates me because it's so different than our rivers. Russian River is the only river that I can think of that kind of does that, but it doesn't do it on that magnitude in terms of days it takes for the water to pulse up. Russian River, maybe a couple days to reach your peak, but we're talking a couple weeks for some of these regions further south to reach their peak. Here are this is a surface map now, right down on the ground. If you care, there's a high pressure at the surface. There's a low pressure at the surface. These are surface fronts. See the blue arrows? Those are fronts. This is a cold front. All those little triangles is a cold front. Doesn't mean there's weather. As you can see, there's not weather associated with it, but often for us it means weather associated because you're creating the dynamics. It creates a certain amount of lift because cold air. Okay, I'll do it. Cold. Let's say my hand is that pointy little blue barb. Cold air sinks. So a cold front, the colder air sinks, and it undercuts the relatively warmer air above, and it lifts it up. It's a mechanism. It's kind of like orographic lifting, but using thermal parameters. So the cold air, warm air lifts, right? So just think of that as a wedge. And the clouds go up and they get high enough, they cool, they condense, and so on. And typically with a cold front for us, that's what we see. This cold front looks dry, which is also very possible because, again, there's not a lot of moisture to work with right now for them. And then you see the showers there. So yeah, that's sort of interesting. I never thought about it being sort of like, it is orographic lifting, but using cold air. So here's, again, the picture of the fog and low clouds. Did I miss? Yeah, I missed weather for a bunch of days. But the fun thing about surfing is this is Grove, Walnut Grove. Okay. The fun thing about surfing is you kind of immerse yourself, this is another live picture here, in the ocean, and you're sort of, you key in, like weather's one of those things you key into cycles, and when you're in, like you hike, you guys are all outdoor types, when you're out and you're in it without a lot of distractions, you kind of, you reach a different level of sensory where you kind of know what's going on. I know it sounds weird, but it's in woo-woo, but it's true. So when I surf, I think all people when they surf, especially, that's when you're in the water, you feel the temperatures, the currents, the swell, the different directions, the ground swell. You can feel the wind shifting. The otters and seals go by, and you see a whale, and all of a sudden you're immersed. It's awesome. I mean, that's what surfing is, I think, and that's what hiking is. That's what anytime you get away from all this stuff. So, my thinking is, at first I miss it because I do immerse myself in this stuff daily. So when I get away from it, I'm like, oh, I kind of miss it. And then this minute I get out into the real this is all real too, but I'm just saying when you and no iPhones, no nothing, just your physicality and your mental state, and you're out in it. I know, it sounds weird. I know you know what I'm talking about though. I know you do. Okay, so this is Kachuma Lake, and this is the Santa Ynez Mountain, and it is, let's do this. This is kind of up out of Santa Barbara. Let's see if we can do this. So I can just go this way. So now you're looking kind of west. So that's out towards, you're kind of looking out towards the Pacific Ocean. And again, we're up pretty high, San Ynez Mountain. I don't know the exact height of it. I could Google it, but I think it feels to me like it's 2,020, 1,800, 2,000 feet. Maybe a little higher. But isn't that beautiful how it hits the spine of the coastal hills here and the fog kind of comes in the back way? So you're kind of looking out, I believe we're looking towards Gaviota. Let's see. Yeah, right. So here's Gaviota here. You can see my little handy thing. And that's what we're looking towards. Okay. All right. Good. Moving along. This is San Diego. Temperature today in San Diego is going to be 74 degrees. And there's some of those high clouds and cloud cover from that low. Remember the low that we were showing down there? So what do we got? Kind of a low grade day in terms of in next couple of days, just subtle changes. Cooler into Tuesday, a little bit. Wednesday, more noticeable. Thursday, more noticeable. Friday through Saturday and Sunday, kind of just spring. Breezy conditions, a little bit of fog, blah. It's going to be spring. And then after that, it warms up pretty rapidly. And we'll get to that when we look at the other stuff. Here is Mount Shasta, and just a beautiful day. It's heartening to see this much snow, this slow down this time of year. That's pretty good. I mean, heck, we're April 14th now. I know it can be much more, but when you look at the water indexes, right, and we know all about those, I'm not going to make you look at them now, but when you look at them, you see that we are well above average for Northern California. Southern California, a little below average, but we're well below average and well above average in Northern California. And so that equals out is kind of how it goes. I think I might have just jammed myself up. This happens to me sometimes. This is Heavenly Valley. We are not going to make it to the surf report today unless it clears out. Sometimes it locks up on me, this live camera. Maybe I'll do this. Sorry, you have to see the surf is not that big. It's 4 to 5. It's going to stay 4 to 5 the next couple of days. The fog is in. Ocean's still dangerous. Sea surface temperatures are kind of cold, especially south of Point Conception. I was surprised how cold it was down there. It's probably 54 degrees, which is really cold for there. That's colder than here. Up here it's probably, I should know, but it's probably 57 degrees up here. You can see that we've got plenty of snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains as well. I've been checking out the eagles. They are awesome. We would check them out now, but my computer half frozen up, which is awesome. That's cool. We're good with it. That's not going to affect us, but they're big. We'll look at them again tomorrow, and that's it. So in 10 to 12 weeks, those eagles are going to fly, and they're coming up. Not from now, from when they're born. But we're getting closer, and you'll see how really, really big they are. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to splice in a picture of them right here so that you can see how big they are and awesome they are. Okay, thanks for hanging in. Nice to be back. Let me know what you need. Again, it's weather off the top, stuff on the back. Oh, yeah, buddy. Look at us. It just came right in. Okay, so I'm going to back this up. This is right now. Look at the babies, how big they are. They're moving around here. I was watching them earlier. Look at this shit. Stuff, sorry, pardon me. Look at that, how big they are. Oh my God. They look healthy. Look at the size of those feet. Those feet can grip a guy like me who's kind of okay shape, kind of getting crinkly, but I can grip at like 90 pounds is with a PS pressure. And I think they can, when they're grown, can grip down to 400 PSI, pounds per square inch. They can clinch down, and that's what they do. And that's why those claws are so, I mean, it makes sense, right? And they got the beaks that can just rip into stuff. So they're the babies, and mom or dad, mom, I can't tell anymore. It's cute how, God, they just get baked when they're done. But you can see the down on their feathers. That is really awesome. Okay, so like I was going to say, I'm glad that turned out, so I don't have to pop it in. Yeah, tell a friend. Yeah, tell me what you like, what you don't like, and let's keep it going. It is fun. I'm going to start, this friend asked me, am I going to start traveling this stuff a little bit because I'm out and about a bunch. I'll show you a picture of my van here, but I got an awesome van, and my wife's a gamer, and I do get around a lot of the state. That's the thing I know, but I'm kind of careful too because I don't want to make my life about producing content. I know it sounds weird, right? So I just want it to be what it is. I like the way it is. But I'm gonna pick it up a little bit because I enjoy sharing, and it also spurs me on to learn more. Like I didn't actually, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know where Chumunk, I can't pronounce it, Kachuma Lake is. I kind of didn't know that was the name of that lake. So I learned something today, right? So that's kind of the fun thing for me. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Oh yeah, tell a friend, subscribe, like. There's things I'm supposed to say. Subscribe, like, tell a friend, be cool, be nice to each other, and exercise every day. You got to do something every day. Okay, see you back here.